Hey everybody, Steve Burns here, week 5. Okay, exciting stuff coming up. So, we've been focusing so far on design, right? So, here we are, week 5. You're thinking, oh, when are we going to get into Dreamweaver, right? But you know what? Design is the most important. Get your website looking the way you want it to look. Get it representing your client. Get it, get the functionality worked out in design first before we get into Dreamweaver. So this portion of our class, I'm going to start sharing with you the customization of your site, where you can actually customize everything inside of Dreamweaver and Photoshop. Later on, we're going to get into WordPress and other ways, shortcut ways of designing websites. But for right now, I want us to focus on design. And now we're ready to actually export this out so that it looks on the web exactly the way that you designed it. Okay. All right. So this week, we're going to take what you've created for your front page and what you've done for your interior pages, and we're going to make it happen on the web. All right, so here's my page inside of Photoshop, as you can see. And what I'm going to do is we're going to export this out so that Dreamweaver will recognize it, bring it in, and view it as exactly as you have created it. Now, I'm going to do the front page. It'll be the exact same workflow for all the interior pages, no different. So what I need to do is I need to export this out in sections so that when your client comes to view your web page, everything comes up very quickly over the worldwide internet. Okay. All right. So let's go set up Dreamweaver first. Let's get in Dreamweaver. And my particular site has already been done, but I'm going to share with you guys how to do it, how to set yours up from scratch. Right here in the very top, it says Chrome Illusion, and under Chrome Illusion, it's the Chrome Illusion responsive website. Okay. I also have the actual website, which is working live, which is a Chrome Illusion there. Okay, which is the actual just Chrome Illusion, but not responsive. So that's been set up already, and I'm going to redo this or reorganize this from scratch for the Chrome Illusion responsive. All right, so I'm going to go back to the Chrome Illusion responsive. And what you need to do is you need to set up a brand new website. So right now you're going to have none of this showing on your screen. So let's go ahead and make it happen. Right over here, you should have a File tab. Now, if any of these tabs are not available to you, they're all listed under the window menu, just like as all of your tabs are listed in Photoshop as well as Illustrator under the window menu. Okay, so we have like your you can hide your panels, we can arrange them differently, but right here is where you're gonna find this: your properties, your get, and all these other options here. So what you're going to do is we're going to make a brand new one. So we're going to come right up here under the file. Now yours will probably be empty, but I'm going to click this drop list and we're going to target manage sites. And we're going to click it. Now the first thing we need to do is, now you can see here are my two. I've already done mine. Well, you're going to do yours. So what you're going to want is a new site. We're going to click the new site. I'm going to name the site. Just give it a name. It's going to title it. It needs to know where this site is sitting on your hard drive so that you can link the World Wide Web to your hard drive so you have the ability to upload or download to update your sites. So here, call your site whatever you like. You know, we can call it just my site, right? Under the local site server, we need to tell it where is it on your hard drive. Now for me, when I click this, for me, it's going to be the responsive folder. So I would normally, if I was doing this brand new, I would click responsive folder, and then on the bottom right hand corner here, I will target the select folder. And there it is. Now it's targeting that folder. Because inside that folder, if you remember week 1, also week 2, I can't remember exactly, Inside that folder, we have the images folder where we're going to be placing our images as well. So next thing you're going to need to do is go to the server. Find out, how do we access the web? Your actual server that you have obtained from your ISP to access or to upload your web page. So everybody must have their their server space set aside. So your server space as well as your domain name, all of that should be done by now. So I'm going to target the server. And how do you get information about your server? Well, that only comes from your ISP. Whoever you chose as your hosting company, whoever you chose to host your website, they're going to give you that information. Only they have this information. You're not going to have it. I'm not going to have it. I can't tell you. You have to get all this from them. All right. So, and for that reason, I'm anticipating that some of you probably procrastinated on actually getting your web server secured. So what I'll do is I'll plan to give you a little extra time on this project. So I'm going to assume you'll spend this week getting that set up, and then you can upload it. But anyways, again, if you missed this week getting your stuff uploaded, just get it up there when you can. All right. Okay. So under the server is targeted. Come over to the right hand side, and now we need to select the server. Go down this little plus symbol there. It's right down. It's a little empty box. You see the name, address, and connections, and remote testing, and so forth. Hit that empty box. And this is where you're going to get all the information from your ISP. Okay? What is your server name? You're going to stay in the basic tab. What is your server name? What are you going to be using? You're going to be using FTP or SFTP. Normally it's going to be FTP, but just follow whatever your hosting company gives you, whatever instructions they give you, follow their instructions for this. For me, it would be FTP. I'll have an FTP address. It could be ftpmydog.com or thecakeshop.com. Whatever the FTP address they give you, that's where it goes. Next, you got to have a username and you've got to have a password. That's going to always be the case. You can only get that from your hosting company. All right, and then your web URL, which is where your domain name, mycheesecake.com or mywebsite.com, whatever it is, you set it up. Make sure you guys get that done this week at bare minimum. I'm going to give you a couple weeks for this assignment. As I mentioned earlier, I'll give you a little more time. I anticipate you're probably going to need a little time to actually get this set up, and then a little time to actually get your website uploaded. Okay, so once you have that, you're pretty much done. When you click Save It, it's going to tell you whether or not you've successfully connected or not. If you have a problem connecting, contact your hosting company. Steve may not be able to help you on this. Okay, so contact your hosting company. Make sure that you have the proper information in here. If we go to the advanced view, you don't worry about this. Leave this all default. Okay, but there's one thing you take a look at here that's right down here in the advanced view under the bottom under testing the server. All right, you've got automatically push files for testing server and always auto save dependent files. Now, say for example you upload all your images and also all your HTML files, because we're working in HTML here. You may not want to reload your image files again because they're already there. So I leave that one unchecked, always auto save dependent files. I leave it unchecked. Now when you're done, click save. If everything's working right, you're going to have connection to your server. Okay, so I'm going to go back to mine, and of course I'll have connection to the server, and we'll chat more about that in just a little bit. But I'm going to just cancel this. I'm not going to disturb anything in my site. And already, the least you're going to be able to see is the connection to your website on your server, on your computer. Not your server, but on your computer. So right here is showing me Chrome Illusion responsive site. If I just hover the mouse over it, it's telling me exactly where I am on my hard drive. There's my gallery 1. So if I drop that down, you can see all my JPEG images I placed in there. And then I also have my images folder in there. We can see all the images listed in there. Okay. And then in the root of the site is where my HTML files are going to go. That's going to be your index.html. Index is always your home page, always your home page, always your home page. There will be no other name. It will not be home.html. It will not be mycakes.html. It will be index.html every time. That is the first place that the World Wide Web is going to default to, your index.html file. From there, you can navigate through any of your pages in your site. All right, so, and then of course, right down here in the bottom, we have our assets. All right, so if we've got the assets view. So if any of these are not showing, remember, go to your Windows menu. There's my assets, there's my files showing, there's my properties showing. The properties are right down here. Make sure all those are on by default. Okay. And under the assets, I'm in my images folder. That's this very top icon here. So if I go to your assets, the very top icon on the left-hand side is your images. And of course, you can go to other options, your color. We haven't set any of this up yet. Here's your media file, like your video files, linked files. Nothing's in there yet, but right now inside my images folder is showing my images. So when I kind of randomly click on an image, you should see a preview here. Okay. All right, so let's move forward now. Let's go back. We're done with this. We're done at this stage in Dreamweaver. This is pretty much as far as I want you to go in Dreamweaver. Is set up your site so you have access to your server. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to export all your web page content from Photoshop into the Dreamweaver, into your local file, into the location on your hard drive, in order to view all your HTML files utilizing Dreamweaver.